The college basketball experience, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets 2022-23 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET, get $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today.
Hey, this is John Sally, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets 2022 season preview. Buzz, sting. Oh man, am I excited to talk Yellow Jacket basketball. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
Dundee happened. He was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink, and I don't have stress, and I'm healthy.
Oh man, I am excited to watch some Yellow Jacket basketball. This is a rich history, but last year, I mean, this program last year.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
And that's the reality. But overall, I mean, I remember the days. This is the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. You heard the introduction. John the Spider Sally. He only won 7 NBA championships, I feel like. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass a little bit there, but he won with the Bad Boys. He won with the Bulls with Jordan. Maybe even one with the Lakers. I don't remember. But this program, Bobby Crimmins had this. When I first was growing up, Georgia Tech was nasty. They regard you, from Mark Price to Kenny Anderson to Travis Best to Stephon Marbury to Jared Jack. I mean, this program was absolutely rolling. They're one of the only teams, I think, that I can think of. I know the Florida Gators. Florida Gators won a national championship in football and basketball, right? In my lifetime. Georgia Tech won one in football in '90, and also have been to the went to the national championship in the early 2000s. I went to the Final Four with Kenny Anderson and Malcolm Mackey was on that team. I remember the James Forrest buzzer beater. This is a rich against USC. Remember that one in the NCAA tournament? Just a wild ass 3-point ball. That was, man, those were the days. But Georgia Tech, what happened to this program? It's a rich program. Whether it was Bobby Crimmins, whether it was Paul Hewitt, this team was winning, man. They had some really good players, Matt Harpring, remember Matt Harpring was there. Tom Hammonds. I mean, you go on and on and on about some of the talent. Dennis Scott used to bury threes for them. Remember Brian Oliver and Dwayne Farrell. Either way, I mean, what you got to wonder what has happened with this program, because I should mention that I know last year was tough, right? And maybe I think it is a big year for Josh Pastner. He's just 94-96 at Georgia Tech in his tenure, which I believe is 5 years, I believe, and 261 and 169 overall. Those go back to his Memphis days, but. And he had some bad luck. Let's be honest. I know the Loyola Ramblers, a couple years ago, it was the year after COVID, I believe. So just 2 seasons ago, because COVID, we didn't have an NCAA tournament in 20. Josh Pastner and Georgia Tech, and they win the ACC, and then Moses Wright gets COVID, can't play in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and they lose to the Loyola Ramblers. That was absolutely brutal. That was absolutely brutal, I think, for the Yellow Jackets, because that's just bad luck. That's just bad luck. You might have won that game, considering how well you played throughout the season. I know Loyola's a good team, though. I mean, I'm I'm not that dumb there, but I do feel like perhaps it would have been a little different. Jose Alvarado, Moses Wright, that team had Devoe, and maybe it's just bad luck. That's just bad luck. But I can tell you this, they got to get their shit together, because that ain't going to save them if they can't grab some wins. Maybe they give them next year too, but you look at this team, they were just 12-20 a season ago. 12-20 and just 5-15 in the ACC. I get it. You lost Wright. You lost some other key pieces, but they should have been better. They still had some solid players on that team. And in my opinion, last year was a very bad coaching job, because you should have won more games. You should have won more games than you did. Yeah, they were 12-18 and 1. That was their record ATS. But you can't go 5-15 in the ACC. Come on, you're just Georgia Tech. This team played for national championships in the past 20 years, right? Or 21 years, whatever. They've been to Final Fours. This is a rich program. I alluded to all those players that they had. And when you look at last season, I think the problem is they turned the ball over at a crazy rate. That's what happens when you lose your point guard from the season before. But it did happen, and they really were reckless with the ball. They were 223rd in the nation at taking care of the ball. They finished 14th in the ACC last year. That's unacceptable. You look at other stats. They were a horrible free throw shooting team. One of the worst free throw shooting teams. They're I think 267th in the nation in free throw shooting. Got to get better there. You got to get better there. Rebounding, terrible rebounding team. 281st in offensive rebounding. 179th in defensive rebounding. So I guess average. You could be better from a defensive rebounding standpoint. 130th in shooting the three, so decent in shooting the three. How about this though? Just 225th in adjusted offense, and that's what I'm talking about. Reckless with the ball, can't rebound. 117th in pace. So they're not only were they reckless and they were kind of pushing it up the court. Yeah. Defensively 110th, so actually played decent defense. They were not 99.2 rating for adjusted defense. I don't know. I just feel like last year they were just a mess from the season beginning all the way to the ACC tournament. It was just a mess, and I don't know that it's getting better, because they lose Michael Devoe, who averaged 18 points a season ago. They lose Jordan Usher, who averaged 15.7 boards a season ago. They lose Khalid Moore, who was a reserve that I think they were he transferred out to Fordham. So it's losing some key pieces there. But there is hope. There is hope, and we're going to see. We're going to talk about it. But I got to get us paid before we talk about what we see from the Yellow Jackets in 2022-23. Want to tell you folks out there that the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets 2022-23 season preview episode is brought to you by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet. Get $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by Odds Trader. Yes, Odds Trader is a place to compare odds from all the major sports books. You can also compare the different sign-up codes, the promo codes from sportsbook to sportsbook to ensure that you get the best deal possible. And the app provides player stats, game stats, injury reports, projected game day weather for bettors who make the most informed bets possible. Obviously talking about football or baseball or I don't know, something there. It also has a bet tracker, so bettors can keep track of all the different, like for me, shit, you get me in the middle of November, December, I got action on college football, college basketball, NFL. I took the Boston Bruins. I forgot about that bet. You know what I mean? Just all across the board. Well, this organizes it for you. Which is great. Go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. That's OddsTrader, the #1 site for all of your game day bets. We're also brought to you by Run Your Pool. Yeah, Run Your Pool is the home of competition, bringing sports fans and their social circles together to compete, to connect, and make every game matter more. And they have every game you can think of under the sun. Pick'em, Survivor, fantasy pools. You can go on and on and on about what they offer from a game point of view, but we've teamed up with Run Your Pool. We're going to be running our own we are running our official SGPN NFL Survivor contest. Free to enter. Hop in right now to reserve your spot. $500 cash plus $250 gift card to the winner. How about that? What are you doing? Get over there. Sign up today at play.runyourpool.com/SGP. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. Yeah, Sleeper's the fastest growing fantasy platform today with millions of players. You probably already have a fantasy league on there. I know I do. They just passed 4 million users. Come on now. With the NFL season right around the corner, Sleeper is the first sports contest game built into the fantasy experience. So right now on your mobile phone, join our listener group at sleeper.com/SGP, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. Once again, that's sleeper.com/SGP, and you get $100 match on your first deposit. All right, let's talk about this roster. Let's talk about this roster and what's coming in. I alluded to Devoe, Usher, and the reserve, Khalid Moore. I actually think Pastner wanted Khalid Moore to return, give him some depth, give him some experience. So they went out and tried to get active in the transfer portal. The freshman wise, they didn't bring in a lot. They got a freshman, Freds Paul's Bagatskis. If I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. This guy is not ranked, but I know he played well in the European games there. He's coming over from Latvia. Could be a nice get. Could be one that we just don't see coming. I think we should pay attention to that one. Besides that, Pastner went out and got forward Javon Franklin, 6'7" forward from South Alabama with the Jaguars, and that could be a good get. 12 points, 8 boards there in the Sun Belt. Also from Gardner-Webb, got 6'2" guard Lance Terry, 14 points, shot 35% from 3. Okay, so you add those pieces. I know they whiffed on a couple transfers that they were trying to get, but the wild card being the European guy. But I can tell you this: they return a couple players like Rodney Howard, the 6'10" senior. This is his year to come out. Center, 7 points, 5 boards a season ago. Can he put it together and be a key nucleus on this team? Sophomore guard Dallin Coleman, 6 points a game, shot 41% from 3. Get the guy the ball. And then the senior point guard. This is going to be interesting to watch. Kyle Sturdivant, and if he can, point guard plays so big, especially in the ACC. I feel like if they can get the transfers playing. So I'm projected the starting 5 is Sturdivant, Terry, Coleman, Javon Franklin, and Rodney Howard, and maybe this kid from Latvia can contribute more than we're thinking. Either way, I don't have a great feel for this roster. So we're gonna talk preseason tournament and what we think from a game point of view, like what would keep Pastner's job safe, even though I think he re-upped the COVID year. And what could Georgia Tech be an NCAA tournament team this season? Could they surprise within the ACC? We're going to get to it. I got a couple more ads to read. I want to tell you that the Georgia Tech 2022 season preview episode is brought to you by Trade Coffee. Trade Coffee connects customers to the freshest and best tasting coffee they've ever made at home by partnering with the country's best craft roasters. These are independent businesses from big cities and small towns. Trade customers are truly impactful for these independent roasters, often being the largest source of new growth for them. It's expert tasted. All right. Trade's coffee team actually taste tests thousands of coffees. What a job. And they keep over 450 different kinds of coffee alive and ready to ship out to you every single day. There's no one perfect coffee, but there is a perfect coffee for you. And you better believe Trade's going to find it because they have a human powered algorithm for you. So right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/SGP. That's more than 40 cups of coffee for free, people. Get started today by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by Dave. No, not Dave Odom. Shout out to Dave Odom, legendary ACC coach as well. But I'm talking Dave, cash banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. I mean, that's more money to fill your tank, buy a wedding gift, catch up on bills, or whatever. We've all been in a spot in life where maybe you went to I don't know, the Bahamas, You and some pals went to the Bahamas and spent way more money than you thought you were. Now all of a sudden you come back home, shit. I don't know. Maybe maybe that girl you've been trying to take out on a date finally took you up on it, and all of a sudden you're spending money that you don't have, that you weren't projected to be spending. Well, instead of asking your dad or your brother or somebody for money, that can get embarrassing. That's why Uncle Dave is here for you. All right, you don't need Dave Thomas anymore. All right, Uncle Dave here. This app is genius. All right. It's a banking app that can help you get $500 instantly. There's no interest. There's no check needed or credit check needed. So, I mean, it's fantastic. Download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account. Get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve. Member of the FDIC. All right. We are back talking Yellow Jacket basketball. And it is interesting. You look at Pastner's actually 6 seasons. I was incorrect there. Obviously they couldn't go the COVID year because COVID, they didn't have an NCAA tournament, and they had a postseason ban in 2019 and 20 anyway. So if anything, that worked out great in their favor. They finished 5th in the ACC that year, but I do believe he should be on the hot seat. Let me rattle through what he did. He comes in 2016, 2017. He goes 21-16, winning record, but 11th in the ACC. However, they did go to the NIT championship game and lost. So arguably should have been in the NCAA tournament that year. Normally, I feel like the top 2 teams in the NIT probably belong to be in the NCAA tournament. Follows it though in 17 and 18, which is the 13 and 19 season. And 6 and 12 in the ACC. And by the way, his first year he was 8 and 10 in the ACC, so 2 losing seasons there. Finished 13th among the ACC in the rankings out of 15. Then in 2018-19, he goes 14 and 18, 6 and 12 in the ACC. They finished 10th in the ACC. So then they have the postseason ban. They still went only 17 and 14 and 19 and 20, but they did finish 5th. So you saw a little bit of a tide turn there with Pastner, and then 17 and 9, they finished 4th in the ACC. They win the ACC tournament. It was kind of a weird win because UVA had COVID and it was a forfeit win, and they lose in the first round, but they don't have Moses Wright, and it was just an unfortunate situation. Then last year, 12 and 20, 5 and 15 within the ACC, 14th in the conference, second to last. That's not going to cut it. So essentially, only 3 winning seasons out of 6, and even with that, only a top 5 finish. Well, I mean, I guess you could say twice, but one of those was a postseason ban. So I think it's a huge year for Pastner. So
when we were winning conference titles and going to the Final Four, we were making a statement.
Can they make a statement? Is the question. I went through what I projected as their starting lineup. And maybe they add a late transfer. I don't know. We're still like I think 80 days away from the opener. So, but I'm quickly just trying to take a gander at the schedule, and obviously, it's not even really released yet. But I do see they have a game. I think so. The season starts November 7th. They have a game at Georgia State November 12th. Watch out! The Panthers can bite you. All right. I know they have a coaching change, but I think Georgia State's a good basketball program, as we've seen in the NCAA tournament. They get the Georgia Bulldogs in Atlanta on December 6th. That's like a must-win game, I would feel like, for Pastner. Mike White now down there in Athens. They got UAB on the schedule, and Andy Kennedy's doing a great job there, bringing in talent. They get Northern Illinois in the they're going to be playing in the Fort Myers tip-off. So they get Northern Illinois. It's going to be a home game, but then the rest of the games will be in Fort Myers, Florida, where they'll take on Utah. The Utah Utes. That's an interesting game because both teams I kind of feel like are in the same spot. Craig Smith taking over the Utah Ute job, and then they'll get either Mississippi State or Marquette. Mississippi State, Chris Jans year 1, Marquette, Shaka Smart year 2. They could win that tournament. Georgia Tech could win that tournament. I don't think they're. I mean, I wouldn't favor them, but I think it's pretty close. They could win that tournament. That would be a great statement. They also have Southern Miss on the schedule. Then they have the Big Ten ACC Challenge, where they will have the Iowa Hawkeyes, which I would imagine that they would be a dog to them. I don't have conference odds yet. I'm just going to say this. I mean, someone can get wins. I've made this case for the Boston College preview and the Clemson preview. We know this in the ACC. Obviously, Duke's bringing in an unbelievable recruiting class. Tony Bennett is bringing back a ton of production. They even got Vanderplas from Ohio in the portal. Kie Clark's back. Those two teams are going to be good. I mean, Duke, it's John Shire year one. We've never seen him coach, but that talent is there. And then you have the North Carolina Tar Heels, who I think should be preseason number one. They brought back everybody with the exception of Manic, I feel like. So it's gonna and it's gonna be tough. Those teams right there, I would say. Then you add in, I think the next tier down is Miami, which they were active. NIL already doing things, bringing in Nigel Pack from K-State and a couple other guys. Florida State and Miami, I think is a tier up, and I think maybe you could make the case NC State is too. No, you could say Virginia Tech because I forgot Bates is gone from NC State. I don't know. My point is that I do think there's wins out there to get. And if one team can separate themselves from the bottom here, I'm talking to Pittsburgh, talking to Boston College, talking to Clemson, talking to Wake Forest, talking to Georgia Tech. And I think someone could get some wins. I don't even know what I really think, like where I think Louisville will be either. So like, there's Syracuse might not even be that great. There's wins out there to get. Can one team emerge from that? I think Notre Dame will be probably pretty good again this year, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't have them as a tournament team, and I actually think Josh Pastner will probably, if I had to bet, which is we do here at sportsgamblingpodcast.com and the or at SGPN, I should say. I'm rooting for Georgia Tech, because I think it was a tough break a couple years ago, but they got their work cut out for him here. I would say that he's probably going to get canned. They got to get a winning record in the ACC. They've only had a winning record in the ACC twice in his reign. There's wins out there to get. There's wins out there to get, and we will analyze it more as the season gets closer. By the way, subscribe on YouTube. Hopefully you're watching this. You'll see the sweet ass graphics here. Shout out to the SGPN graphics team, but yeah, youtube.com/the college experience. We handicap every single, Division I college basketball and college football game. We've been doing this shit for years. So check us out. I come to you every single night when the college basketball season starts, giving you a show about what plays I like. And we just talk college hoops, but, I do think it's going to be really tough for them. I think it's going to be tough for them because I even think I like Pitt's roster better than Georgia Tech's. I don't know. I think Georgia Tech will probably have the leg up on Clemson, especially with the Hall injury. I think I like Wake's roster better than Georgia Tech's. So I don't think it's going to be a good season. And I think Josh Pastner, and you should be considering who you're going to get. You could potentially lose Jeff Collins in football, which maybe you should go out and get Jeff Monken and bring the option offense back because you were winning Orange Bowls. I don't understand why they rejoiced when that went away. And Josh Pastner, you could have new life coming into the ACC in Atlanta. Come on, this is a sleeping giant with NIL. Come on. Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch though. I feel like, and I'm curious, would they give Pastner another year? Because what would that number be for Georgia Tech to be okay with him coming back? Let's say they don't make the NCAA tournament. What would that number, would it have to go like 17-14 like you did in 1920? 17-14, you say, okay, well, we showed some signs and maybe next year's our year. Maybe that happens. They're going to be must-watch TV for me each and every game because of the stakes. So sign me up for that. All right, folks, this is the college basketball experience. Give us a follow wherever you listen to podcasts, or subscribe, and also give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Remember to check out the college football experience. We did the Georgia Tech preview. Jeff Sims, Jeff Collins, huge years for both those guys. Also, check out the College Baseball Experience. Me and Noah Beanick host the Sports Gambling Podcast, doing NFL futures already. If you're a Falcons fan, or whoever your team is, maybe you're a Saints fan, maybe you're a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. I don't know. But all of our feeds, I can't recommend them enough. Get the SGPN app for free in the App Store, Google Play Store. But I mean, NBA Gambling Podcast. Come on, Hawks fans. NHL Gambling Podcast. You go on and on and on. Whatever the sport is. If you're a Georgia Bulldogs fan, which I know sounds crazy, but I know that I had a buddy that was a Georgia football fan and a Georgia Tech basketball fan. I thought that was fucking crazy. But check out the Georgia previews out there, guys. The Discord channel, can't recommend that enough. Guys, girls, anyone. All right. A lot of times. So I grew up in a household full of people. So now I'm at home with my wife, and it's just me and her. She's normally doing her own thing. Sometimes when sports are on, she'll go to the other room. I'm watching these sports. I'm like, what is going on here? You see that dunk by Moses Wright? I'm hopping in the Discord channel saying, yes, you see that? We're also talking about, hey, I like Georgia Tech plus the points here. I like, the Falcons -6 here. It's a lot of fun. Even if you're not gambling, hop in there, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. All right, folks, this is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
What is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you.
I didn't come here to study. I come here to study. Studying sucks. It really sucks.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Congratulations.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? Your
back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
They're begging us. Please have a party. Feed us drinks. Get us